and today we're here at Revent. We have Adachic with Adachic Event Planning. Thank you for coming out today.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So tell us a little bit about Adachic.
So Adachic Event Planning is an event planning company. We specialize in coordination, event planning, couture cakes, and special event decor. So we mainly do weddings, but we also do baby showers, bridal showers, birthday parties, anything, any event where someone needs a cake, they need coordination, they need planning. We're here to do all that.
Awesome. So take us a little bit back. When did you start this?
So I started officially towards my end of college, but I've always been into planning, cakes, decor. I probably made my first cake when I was like 10 years old. And so I restarted all of that in the end of 2010 when I started really thinking like, I really could do this as a business and not just as a hobby. I was always the family event planner. Anytime the family members having a birthday party or a baby shower, or like, oh, call Onyi, that's mine. Really? Call Onyi and she'll take care of all that. So I decided like I can actually make this a full-time business. That is something that I've always loved to do.
Wow. So far, how far have you grown since you first started?
So I've grown a lot. Like I was telling someone recently that before I used to know who would refer me to certain clients, but now I've grown so much that someone will say like, oh, I tasted your cake at so event. And I'm like, I don't even remember that. That's how many events I've done. So it's grown a lot. It's really
interesting.
Really
so now do you have a team now? Is it just you running the business, or?
I do have a team of people. I'm the main person, but I do have a team of people who come to help me out.
Now, how have you grown this team? Because I know for smaller businesses, it's very hard to grow and trust people. How have you kind of went about that and developing that rapport with the people that you work with?
So it has taken a while to grow to the point where I have people who I can trust, but I've just kind of seen the people who, when they come around, they're really interested in the business, they take initiative when we go out to events, they're not just always relying on me for what to do. So that's what I look for, someone who, when they come to an event, they can see it as their own as well and take initiative to make sure everything works well in the end.
Absolutely, because you definitely need help with smaller businesses, kind of make things grow and expand. What is unique about what you do compared to other businesses that are similar to what you're doing?
So there's people who make cakes, there's people who decorate, there's people who plan, but we do it all. So you can literally come to an event and I've actually planned it, made the cake, and decorated it. You can say this is like Adachic events, did everything. So that's what makes us quite unique.
Absolutely. So those packages, anybody who wants your service can choose a particular package, but it'll be better for them to get the entire service.
Exactly. Like other people, they feel like it's easier. They just come to me and they know that pretty much their entire event is taken care of.
So what is your process like? Your process is when you're working with clients, like a few steps, or like what is the event layout stuff looking like, and like stuff that you have?
So for a client who's getting married, let's say, maybe they want decor. First I tell them, give me the vision for your wedding. Are you someone who likes a lot of bling? Are you someone who likes things more clean? Give me some inspirational pictures, on Pinterest or Instagram. Show me some pictures for me to get more of a feel of what it is that they want for their events. When I go from there, then we start to break it down. Okay, this is what you need to get your vision. Then we have a couple consultations, maybe we go out and look at the site, all that to bring their event together.
Absolutely. Because I know a lot of people, they just don't have they have an idea, but they don't understand the structure, the process, or how much or how long it takes. So I just it's great that you can educate your clients on that. That's very fascinating. What are some things that have been some challenges for you as you first started? Because I know a lot of businesses go through it. Did you go through any challenges?
Oh, definitely. You go through challenges probably during the entire time that you're in business. You're always going to face different challenges. But my challenge, I would say, in the beginning is kind of building up my clientele. People in this day and age of Instagram, they want to come to your Instagram and see that you've done a million events. And when you first started, you don't have that. So I had to take on, a lot of maybe friends events to try to build up my portfolio so that people can see like, okay, she's done this, she's done that. Okay, I trust her to do my event. So building up my clientele, it took some time, but you really make sure that you take pride in your work. Someone can tell the next person, she did my event. Look at my event. Okay, I'll have her do my event. And then you get people who feel like they're trustworthy, and then they continue to refer you and refer you and refer you. I have clients now who starting as referrals from as early as when I first started many years ago. It's still like a connection line from there.
Interesting. Where do you see your business in the next, let's say, 2 to 5 years?
In 2 to 5 years, definitely growing more. I would love to have a business location where I can have clients come in, where I can meet with them, have consultations with them, have a showroom where they can see different examples of my work, decor and cakes and all that. So I'd love to have a place where clients can come in and meet me on a day-to-day basis, even just like as in walk-ins, having appointments.
That's beautiful. So I've learned that as you get a place, it becomes more structured. Your projects become more structured. You can kind of house your products and stuff there too. So as you get more comfortable, and all the work that you've done, what are people saying about the kind of work and quality of work that you've done?
I'm getting a lot of great feedback. Like I feel like something that makes me feel happy is when I have repeat customers. When I have repeat customers, when I have friends and family of those customers come to me, because that means that they either saw my decor or saw a cake I made, tasted the cake I made, and they liked it. So that makes me know that I'm doing something well.
Has there been any kind of feedback that has really helped propel your business?
I take pretty much every feedback. There's never a time when you can get it all right. You may have a customer who may have been a little disappointed with something, maybe something wasn't clear.
Right.
And every time I get that kind of feedback, I make sure that I go back to the drawing board and say, okay, let me not take anything for granted, let me not assume anything, let me structure things better. So anytime I hear any kind of feedback, I make sure that I bring it all back and make things better.
Cool. Because I know feedback helps the businesses find the pain points that you're struggling with and kind of helps you propel forward. So what is the customer experience like as you're walking with the customers? What is that like for them? Like, how are they feeling as you're walking them through this process?
I have heard a lot of clients say, I'm very grateful that, we get to have phone conversation, get to text. I always tell my clients, anytime we finish any kind of phone consultation or in-person consultation, I'm like, make sure you email me, call me, text me, anything, any time of the day, for the most part, so that we can get your events exactly how you like it. If there's anything that they remember at the last minute, anything that they forgot to tell me, go ahead and let me know, because I'm here at the end of the day to make sure that you're satisfied with your events.
Absolutely. It's never easy to kind of work with people. Some people have their own kind of schedule, so it's kind of challenging and whatnot. One of the things we like to talk about here is how can you improve your business through the feedback of other people and what that change has made. So I'm glad you were kind of being able to address that with your customers and whatnot. So just to take it a different direction, how are you able to balance the lifestyle? I know, you're working now and you have this event planning. I know it takes a lot of time. How are you able to balance that lifestyle?
I always tell everyone, it's like I have 2 jobs. Once I finish my 9 to 5, it's on to my job number 2. So it is very difficult to balance it, but one thing that I realize, even when I'm up at 4 o'clock in the morning baking a cake, I'm like, when it's something that you love, even though you're stressed, even though you're struggling, even though you're sleep deprived, you're still going to love it. You're still going to continue to want to do it. It makes you work harder. Every so often, when I'm tired and I'm working on something, I'm like, but I love to do this. I keep reminding myself, but I love to do this. Like, I'm sitting there, I'm happy, I'm looking at something that I made. Maybe it's a centerpiece, maybe it's a cake, and I'm like, wow, I did this, and I'm proud of myself. So that's what's able to keep me going. At work, sometimes I do take client calls from time to time. When I have some downtime, I may be on Word, typing up a document for someone's event. So, I'm able to kind of fill it into my day, but the most of it is after work. That's when I'm going shopping for different things. That's when I'm baking. That's when I'm putting together centerpieces for maybe an upcoming wedding. It's a lot of time.
They're really keeping you busy.
Very.
But I see that you're able to really truly manage the time that you have, and that's essential for business
Time
owners.
management is extremely important. Extremely important. So it's 24 hours in a day, and there's so much that needs to be done.
So much needs to be done. Absolutely. I know we talked a little bit about time management. What is your time management skills like? Because I know that you're working 2 jobs now.
Yes, definitely. So I guess what I do is I'm someone who I cannot live without to-do lists. I must. Anytime I think of something I have to do, I put it on my to-do list. So basically, I know that from 9 to 5, I must be at my first job, obviously. But after work, I'll try to prioritize where I go, depending on what I need to buy, what I need to do at home. I try to get the bulk of maybe my shopping done, because I have, if I'm making cakes, I have to shop beginning of the week, and then I have the days that I bake, the days that I decorate, all lined up depending on what's happening at the end of the week. So I just kind of rely on my to-do list and prioritize things to make sure that everything gets done for the events.
Absolutely. I know it's kind of difficult, but I think with a structure, it would be easier something for like yourself. What kind of advice could you provide to someone that was trying to start something like you were doing now, or for women that are trying to get in entrepreneurship? Because it's never easy for anybody, but what advice would you provide?
I'll first say, know that you can do it, because there's going to be a lot of struggles at the beginning, but first know that it can be done regardless of all the struggles that you may be facing. And also do research. Do research to see what having a business like that may entail. So try to, limit the mistakes that you make. Everyone is going to make a million mistakes in the beginning of their business, but you can limit them if you do some research to see the things that can work or may not work for the specific business that you may be trying to start. And then just stay with it. Just be proactive, work hard. It's going to take a lot of work, and know that success won't come overnight. It will take a long time to get there.
Has there ever been a moment where you just wanted to walk away, but you just didn't?
Yes.
It seems like it's a lot of times.
Definitely, when it's like 3 o'clock in the morning and you're still working on a cake and you have to go to work the next day, you're like, is this really what I want to be doing? Or when you're preparing for a huge wedding event and you're maybe, preparing centerpiece items, preparing candles, preparing just this and that for the decor, and you're going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and you're carrying things, you're like, is this really what I want to be doing? But by the time I get to the end of the event, I'm like, this is why I want to do it. When I see what I've done, and I see and I see the smiles on my customer's face, it makes me want to do it all over again. I've had some people work with me, they're like, I couldn't imagine doing this full time. And I'm like, well, I'm the crazy one, because once I'm done with all that stress, I'm like, okay, where's the next wedding? I want to do the next wedding.
Exactly. Has there been one piece of advice that you've been told from a mentor, if you had one, or from family, from somebody that you keep on now, that you keep with you?
I guess one thing I'll say is I'm definitely a stressor, and I'm definitely someone who, when I'm stressed, it shows on me and I get really, really crazy. But someone told me, in the end, it's all going to get done. It always gets done. That has helped me be calm and relax. Every time I want to start feeling stressed and go crazy, I remember that advice that person gave to me. He said, at the end of the day, it's all going to get done. It always gets done, and you always do it well. So chill, relax. Whatever may not get done, it may not get done, but take it easy and you'll be fine.
Awesome. So we're going to take a step back. One of the things we like to also talk about here is you're bringing people to your team. Is there any kind of process that you have that you kind of go through to make sure that you have the right people? Because a lot of small businesses struggle finding talent, and that's why they're unable to expand. And if they can't expand, they can't grow, and therefore they're not bringing more people in the economy, providing more job opportunities. What is one thing that you do that kind of like allows you to bring in the talent?
What I do is I usually will meet with the individual, see where their head is at. Are they doing this just for monetary purposes, or is this something that they really have an interest in, because you'll see there's a big difference in my specific business, event planning, decor, cakes. You'll see that there's a difference between someone who's doing it just for money or someone who really has their heart into this kind of field. You know, that's the kind of person that I talked about before, who when they're at the event, they can take initiative, they can see something and be like, oh, this will actually look better this way when it comes to decor, or they can see that something maybe not fixed properly. That's someone who has their heart in it. Rather, someone who's just there just to make some money, they'll just do exactly what you tell them to do, and that's it. There's no extra oomph. There's no extra creative eye.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much for that. Can you let our viewers know today the service that you provide, the kind of quality of cakes and the things that you do, and let them know where they can find you on social media?
Okay. So here at Adachic Event Planning, we're making couture cakes, planning wonderful events, and designing beautiful weddings. You can find us on Instagram. Our Instagram is Adachic1. Also on Snapchat, Adachic1, and on Facebook, Adachic Event Planning. Our website is adachiceventplanning.com.
Awesome. So you guys know where to find her. If you ever need some event planning for weddings, birthdays, you name it, this is the place. This is the person to speak to. Quality, top quality. So thank you guys for tuning in today. Definitely check her out. Definitely support entrepreneurs and small businesses all around. This is what we're here all about. So once again, thank you. Next time on Revent, we'll catch you guys.
Bye.